material science was kind of at the basis of all of the things going on with semiconductors. The manufacturing, the technology, the printing smaller transistors, the lithography, etc. And the other thing that I found quite intriguing was, in fact, there was this thing called Moore's Law. And how many of you have heard of Moore's Law? How many of you read the original article in 1965 in Electronics magazine? That's kind of what I thought. Oh, one. Anyway, Gordon Moore was founder of Intel, but he really had written the paper about Moore's Law when he was at Fairchild as really the head of their R&D effort there. And just noticed that integrated circuits started in about 1960. It was now 1965, 5 years later. He noticed a certain trend, and if you plotted the number of transistors per integrated circuit over a 5 or 6 year period, it looked like it was a log plot or a linear plot in a log scale. So it kind of meant that you were doubling every 18 months or so in terms of transistors, and transistors related into functionality, performance, a whole bunch of other things. If you read the article, it says very simply, hey, I've made this observation. It can't possibly last, but it's interesting that it's gone so far, and maybe it can last for another 5 years or so, but nothing continues to double for very long in nature. And I then had the pleasure, when I was working at Intel, interacting with Gordon Moore for 35 years, and every year I would ask him about Moore's Law, and every year he would say, it's going to die soon. And we are now, 40-some years later, and it's still going, and it's pretty cool that it looks like it's going to go for another 15 years or so. So Moore's Law will probably end up having 60 years or so of history before you have to change that basic transistor structure. And it will change, there's no question about that. Just as vacuum tubes kind of died when transistors came along, transistors will die when the next electronic switch comes along. We just don't know what it's like. You're doing lots of research here at the university on that. It's a great entrepreneurial effort. Something will have to happen. But Moore's Law is very interesting. And the pursuit of Moore's Law has been interesting for the last 35 years.